Organizational meeting of the Board of Education. I will start with a roll call. Dr. Cordolino here. Mr. Daughtry.
Here.
Mr. Grau.
Here.
Dr. Modrak.
Here.
Mr. Morella.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Mr. Palma.
Here.
Mr. Rappaport.
Here.
Ms. Zuckerman.
Here.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provision of the Act, the Montville Township Board of Education has approved this meeting date. Notice of this meeting has been posted at the Municipal Building, all Montville Township Public Schools, the Montville Public Library, the Montville Township Board of Education Administrative Office Building, the Montville Township website, and advertised in the Daily Record, the board's official newspaper, on January 10, 2018. I'd like all to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to welcome all the board members, and I will read now the outcome of the election. Mr. Charlie Grau received 4,907 votes. Mr. Modrak, 4,787. Karen Cordolino, 5,196. And Mr. Rappaport, 5,164. At this time, I'd like to go and swear in our new board members. Can Mr. Grau, Dr. Modrak, Dr. Cordolino, and Mr. Rappaport join me in the front?
I, Charles Brown, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and the state under the authority of the people, so help me God. I, Charles Brown, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education, and not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1. Nor disqualified due to a conviction of a crime or office listed on NJSA 18A:12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Dr. Modrak?
I, David Modrak, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and the state under the authority of the people of God. I, David Modrak, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of Board of Education, and not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1, and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Dr. Cordolino? I, Karen Cornino, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God. I, Karen Cornino, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education, and not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of crime or offense listed in NJS 18A-12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Mr. Rappaport?
I, Mike Rappaport, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and this state, under the authority of the people, so help me God. I, Mike Rappaport, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education, and not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A-12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
At this time, I'd like to seek nominations for president.
Madam Secretary.
This is, looks like we're going to do the same thing. I'd like to make a motion to nominate Mr. Charles Graff.
Second nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, the nominations are closed for president. This is a roll call for the nomination of Charlie Grau as president. Dr. Cordellino.
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry.
Yes.
Dr. Modrak.
Yes.
Mr. Morello.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Aye.
Mr. Palma.
Yes.
Mr. Rappaport.
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman.
Yes.
Mr. Grau.
Yes.
At this time, I pass the leadership over to the president.
Thank you very much. I really would like to thank the board for their nominations for me as president. I will not disappoint you. I think we've had a very good board meeting for the last several years, and we would like to continue in that tradition. I think we're very fortunate that we don't have any new board members this year. Last year we had several. I think that will help the overall running of the Board of Education. But I think more important that we have what I think is an outstanding group of administrators that we work with. And I think they, along with the principals and the staff, the teachers, and the students, is what makes Montville such an outstanding school district. It's really a privilege to serve as your president, and as I mentioned, we will have another great year. I know we said that a couple months ago, and then Mike O'Brien jinxed us when an incident came forward, but we got through that. But all in all, I just wanted to thank you. The code of ethics is required, so I'm going to ask John if you would start and reading A, B, C, D all the way along the line?
Need a nomination for vice president.
Oh, excuse me. I thank you, Karen. The chair would entertain a motion for the position of vice chairman.
I would like to nominate Mr. Michael Palmer.
Karen nominates Mike Palmer. Is there a second?
A second.
Michael O'Brien, second. Are there any other nominations? I'll entertain a motion to close nominations, please.
So moved.
So moved, seconded by?
Second.
All in favor, voice?
Aye.
Aye. A roll call for Mr. Palmer as vice chairman.
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Mr. Grau?
Yes.
Dr. Modrak?
Yes.
Mr. Morella?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Aye.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman? Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mike. Looking forward to working with you.
I just want to say I'm looking forward to it also. I just want to thank all of you for your confidence in me and for your support. I promise to do the best I can in this position. You know how much I enjoy working with all of you. We have a great board, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the way some boards work, there's a lot of boards that aren't unified. A lot of boards, a lot of people don't get along with each other. This board isn't like that. I think our strength is the fact we work so well with each other, and I'm looking forward to another year. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And now we can start with you, Mr. Morello, the Code of Ethics, please.
A, you will uphold and enforce all laws, rules, regulations of the State Board of Education and the court orders pertaining to the schools. Desired changes shall be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures.
B, you will make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children. You will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children, regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing.
C, you will confine your board action to policy making, planning, and appraisal, and will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them.
D, you will carry out your responsibility not to administer the schools, but together with your fellow board members, to see that they are well run.
E, you will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education. You will make no personal promises or take any private action that may compromise the board.
F, you will you will refuse to surrender your independent judgment to special interest or partisan political groups, or to use the schools for personal gain or for the gain of friends.
G, you will hold confidential all matters pertaining to the schools which if disclosed would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, you will provide accurate information and, in concert with your fellow board members, interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community for the school.
H, you will vote to appoint the best qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendation of the Chief Administrative Officer.
I, you will support and protect school personnel in proper performance of their duties. J. John?
J, you will refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer. Will act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution.
Thank you very much. We have some normal items that we have to vote on as part of this organization. Some items we'll be voting on in May and June also for the 1920 school year. All right, we need a motion on items number approval of parliamentary procedures, bylaws, policies, regulations, scheduled meeting dates, approval of committees. I'm going to do like every board president has done here for the last 10 years. Please let me know which committees you're interested in serving on. I'll make the appointments at the 22nd. I'll give you to the 15th, but if you don't let me know either in some way, shape, or form, I'll have to put you somewhere. I'd rather put you where you'd like to be. So we'll hold off for tonight, 15 on the committees, all right? approval of internal appointments, board secretary, calendar year, and the approval of external appointments. So can I have a motion on the group that I just read, please?
So moved.
So moved. Got that? Roll call, please.
Mr. Morella?
Yes.
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Mr. Grau?
Yes.
Dr. Modrak?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Aye.
Mr. Palma?
Yes.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Yes.
The next group we have is finance resolutions dealing with the various bank accounts, institutions, investment and wire transfers, payment of bills, facsimile of signatures, petty cash accounts, professional other providers, and that would be it. May I have a motion on those, please?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mrs. Dr. Berlin, seconded by Mr. O'Brien.
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Aye.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Mr. Grau?
Yes?
Dr. Modrak?
Yes.
Mr. Morella?
Yes.
Mr. Palma?
Yes.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Yes.
All right, the last resolution would be the approval of the curriculum and textbooks. A motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Palmer, seconded by?
Second.
Mr. O'Brien, roll call, please.
Mr. Palma?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Mr. Grau?
Yes?
Dr. Modrak?
Yes.
Mr. Morella?
Yes.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Yes.
It's my understanding that we do not have a superintendent's report tonight. Is that correct?
That's
Dr.
correct.
Worktown?
Yes.
Or a business administrator's report?
That is correct.
All right, committee reports, there'll be no action at this meeting. We'll do that on the 22nd. Public participation is an opportunity for anyone to ask questions on agendas on the items on the agenda. We don't have too many. All right, let's go to those items then. We only have, what is it? J1? J2 rather, excuse me. I wish all the meetings were like this. And K6. That it, Katrina?
That's it.
Motion on those two, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Slot.
Mr. Morella?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes.
Mr. Grau?
Yes?
Dr. Modrak?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Aye.
Mr. Palma?
Yes.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Yes.
We're not going to have any closed session tonight. Any old business? Mrs. Slunt wrote in her items of update that we have received proposals from attorneys. The Finance Committee will be looking at them on the 22nd before the closed meeting. If anybody is interested in looking at the proposals, which are quite lengthy, please give Mrs. Slunt a call. But in the meantime, Katrina, if you could maybe give a synopsis out of each of the firms and make it a little easier for us. And then at the 22nd, we can look at any of the proposals that we're so inclined to do. Okay, public participation is an opportunity for any member of the public to speak about any item, whether it's on the agenda or not on the agenda. You also have an opportunity on the 22nd meeting to ask any questions that you may have at that time. Anybody have any questions? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
Charlie, before we do one small point of order, I'm assuming, I was DAC liaison this past year. I assume there's a DAC meeting tomorrow.
Everything continues, right?
Okay, I was going to just ask for,
The changes are going to be very minor.
okay,
If someone really wants to get off the committee or on another committee, that is it.
great. Then I will attend the
Yeah,
DAC.
please go.
meeting tomorrow.
And continue with whatever you're doing, the Mustangs and all that other. Okay? In other words, I don't see a lot of changes. It's working very well, let's leave it alone. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we'll see you on the 20th.
Mr. Brown, we could have a motion to reopen the rooms.
Yeah.
I would second your motion, Dr. Cordelino, to reopen.
I agree. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so we reopen the meeting, but in the future, when I say petitions and hearing, that's you. Could you identify yourself with your name and address, please?
Sure. My name is Lorraine Laverty. I'm at 31 Stony Brook Road here in Montville.
Okay.
And I'm here tonight just to voice my...
Would you speak into the microphone?
I'm here tonight to voice my concern over the usage of Alden Bus Company that the school district is currently using to transport the students to Morris County School of Technology. My daughter is a sophomore there, and Alden Bus Company is the company that has been contracted this school year to drive the children to and from school. Last year it was Fordham Bus Company, which was phenomenal. Alden Bus Company has been a complete nightmare since day one. I have every email that I've sent back and forth to Tammy Coop. She has been absolutely wonderful with responding to emails, responding to my difficulties with these drivers. We've had several instances with these drivers as far as them not speaking English, not navigating correctly, using my front lawn as a U-turn, which I have pictures of the one completely ripped up. They have knocked down my mailbox, which is now sitting on the ground, and I'm able to receive mail. I have to go to the post office now to get my mail. I know Ms. Lunt is doing all she can to help rectify that situation as well. It's just, to me, it's unacceptable. It's day after day after day. This bus company is just horrible. Today, even today, they again K-turned in front of my house after explicitly being told by myself and I believe by our transportation department to not do that. They were told how to make U-turns correctly using the road.
The administration has made us aware of what's been happening, and I know that they're diligently working on it. I feel very bad for the youngsters on these routes.
It is a shame.
I'm sorry?
It is a shame because it's gotten to the point now where they've been late several times to school. This has been going on since September 12th.
I'm going to ask Mrs. Slum, this is part of her bailiwick, to bring us up to date because I know that they've been working on some alternatives.
Correct.
And unfortunately, we're locked into laws and stuff, but
No,
she
I realize
can do a better job explaining where we are at the present time. And we're doing everything possible.
And I thank you for that. I just hope that it can be expedited a little bit for the children's sake.
Hi, Mrs. LaFredo. Yes, we have been last April, we contracted with Alden Bus to do the runs, 3 runs to Morris School of Technology. It has not started well, and we have continued to have problems with those runs. We involved, our attorney at this point is involved in moving forward in accordance with what the law allows for us to go and come up with a better solution to this problem. And to that end, as I've said to Mrs. Liberty before, that we are moving forward. Unfortunately, there are legal proceedings that have to go forward in order for us to make that change, and we're in the process of doing that. So I know I've apologized to you and your fiance regarding your mailbox and the lawn and all the other issues, but I will definitely be keeping you posted as to how we're proceeding, and we hope to rectify this as quickly as possible.
And I do thank you for that, and I know that you have been working on this. I just thought it was important to just make this public knowledge because I feel very strongly that we need to move on this as quickly as possible. And I do understand, working in a school district myself, what procedures do need to be followed. I understand that. But my main concern is that the drivers are not, in my opinion, safe drivers, especially when they don't even understand the English language and they are asking 15 and 16-year-olds how to get to each of the houses they need to get to. It's a problem. And I just don't want to see any child get hurt or anything bad happen along these routes that Alden Bus Company from Patterson is taking.
They want to let you know we're doing everything. I wish we could just go to somebody and say, hey, we need 3 buses, but it doesn't work that way. And I know Katrina and the superintendent Renee are working on this, Tammy, and it'll get settled. And unfortunately, that's the bureaucratic way sometimes, but
Okay, and I thank you for that, and I will continue to keep
Yes,
you
please
updated
do.
with everything.
feel free to keep calling Katrina, yes.
No, I do mean that, and I've said that before, that part of the way that we document what's going on is from the input that we receive from you and from us of the bus, particularly the seats and the damage to the seats, has been very helpful because that provides us with information to then provide back to build a case.
Yes, thank you.
Okay?
A question.
Appreciate your
Thank you
help.
very much.
Are things being done to compensate her for her property damage?
Yes, we're in the process of doing that.
That's the policeman. They'll be
I
taking care of it.
have the police report, which I forwarded
I
to you.
just got that today.
Question? Just for clarification, okay, now, you may be aware years ago, many of the teachers became certified bus drivers, or coaches, excuse me. So we were trained at that time. Let my license expire, so I don't know the answer to this question. I thought that making a K-turn with the school bus, and you can correct me, this is what I'd like to know, was actually not just unsafe, but illegal.
Correct.
It is, and it was done again this morning.
It is illegal, right?
Correct. And we have brought it to their
Have
attention.
tickets been issued?
Yes, and
Yeah, they have.
and I'll tell you the number of times we've told them the route to take in order to go the other way down Stony Brook Road.
So the bus drivers have been issued tickets?
They have not been issued tickets because there hasn't been a police present. They've been told how to proceed down Stony Brook Road the correct way.
Should we have a police officer stationed possibly at my house since it's the first stop for the next few mornings? Because they're just doing it time and time again.
They should be ticketed. I feel if we could work with...
I can certainly follow up with
I
that.
sure hope that they got a ticket for back and knocking their mailbox over too. But the main thing is, and I want to make sure you realize that the administration is doing everything they they're trying everything they can do to correct this problem.
And they also have hit my utility pole in front of my house and left their shattered glass from their backup lights all over my lawn, which I have documentation of.
And the accidents and everything will be addressed with the police, right? But hopefully as soon as possible. I'm not going to put any dates, but we'll get this problem corrected. And thank you for bearing with us, and thank you for coming tonight.
Charlie, if you were a witness to that K-turn, you can actually sign the ticket yourself.
Can I really?
Yeah. You can go to the police station, let them know, give a description of the driver, and they'll be able to do that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The video would help too.
You know what, I'll do that tomorrow. But I have been, I was sending
So you have pictures of the broken-
sending pictures of the GPS that my daughter has on her phone, so I can show you that she's going the complete wrong way. The driver was all the way down at St. Pius last week. St. Pius isn't even near Stony Brook, not even near it. Driving in circles, asking my daughter, how do I get to the next house?
Well, thank you for sharing the unfortunate incident with us. The administration has made us aware of it, and hopefully we'll get it corrected as soon as possible. Okay? Thank you for coming. Before we adjourn, is there anything else? Let's motion to adjourn, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Again, thank you very much.